Now that we have our relationship, we're ready to modify the auto enter options on our city and state field. So let's go to the field section and let's go into the city field and go to options. We're going to check looked up value, and you want to read this dialog from top to bottom, left to right. In fact, these areas right here won't even become available until you make the choices up here. Now it automatically chooses the table we're in inside of the field definitions, and we only have one table occurrence for contacts, so there's no other choice we can make here. In fact, you won't be surprised if there's only one choice from here, because we only have two table occurrences in one relationship. So you have to choose this. But what you want to do is understand how this works. It says when you type into the key field in contacts, that's the postal code field, look across the relationship to the zip code field in zips, find the record that matches, and then pull over the city from zips into the city field we set the lookup on. It's that simple. Here to here, once you find a match, grab the city, copy it and paste it over into city, and of course it doesn't use a clipboard. Now there's some options here. You can choose do not copy, which is probably the most common option here. If no exact match when you look over to the zip code table, then don't copy anything. Really the opposite of that is use another value, some kind of value you might type in, some default value you might want. I've used both of these. The most common, of course, is do not copy, but what we're actually going to use here for this lookup is next lower value or next higher value. That means that if you look at your zip code field or your zip code file, you'll see that not every zip code is in there. For instance, in Los Angeles, it might, this is just to explain it to you, inside Los Angeles, inside the zip code field, it might be zip codes 90,000 and 90,050. But you only see one entry for Los Angeles, which would be 90,050. And so what you have to do is say, okay, if I enter 90,010, I'm not going to find an exact match. So if we have this set right here, it's not going to copy anything. But if we have next lower value, it's going to go down to 90,000. We'll actually, in that case, want next higher value if the value in there is actually 90,050. So if we type in 90,010, it'll go, oh, okay, I got to go up until I find one. Oh, 90,050. That's the upper level for Los Angeles. So there's these ranges in there. There's not every zip code in the zip code table. You have to either do next lower or next higher value, and that's when you buy a zip code table, you're going to find that's to be the case. Now there's also an option down here, do not copy contents if empty. Well, you can check that if you don't want to copy a value over if it doesn't find a match. In this case, it's really not going to matter because it's going to find a match no matter what. But if you had it on do not copy, it will go ahead and copy this value. If you uncheck this, copy the value over it if it finds a match and there's nothing in it, and blank out what you had. It all depends on what you want. Really decide and play around with these features with some examples to really understand them. So we're going to set it up to do not copy contents if empty, and then copy next higher value. And really we're going to set the same thing up for our state. Double click on it, looked up value, choose zips, choose state this time. It's a little bit different. Copy next higher value. All the stuff is set the same. So if you want to set up state shipping and city shipping, you actually have a postal code shipping, so you'll need a new relationship to do that because you'll need to go from postal code S to zip. So we're not going to cover that, but that's how you do that if you wanted to have the lookups to work on shipping and billing fields.